Tonight holds a quiet power that most will never notice, a subtle current moving through your life, marking a shift before it even arrives. In this video, you will uncover the signs that indicate this night has been marked in heaven for your transformation. Shaolin wisdom teaches that presence outweighs hurry, that calm observation can reveal truths hidden in the folds of ordinary moments. You may suddenly notice small details you never saw before, patterns in your day aligning like threads of a larger tapestry, or a gentle nudge from intuition guiding your next steps. These are not coincidences, they are messages, signaling that your mind is opening to new possibilities, preparing you for a shift that could redefine your path. Tonight, you will learn 3 powerful signs that indicate your readiness for change, signs rooted in ancient practices and the mastery of self. You will discover how heightened awareness, emotional clarity, and subtle synchronicities point to unseen forces preparing you for growth. These are not common lessons repeated by motivational speakers. They are insights drawn from the disciplined, mindful practices of the Shaolin Way, hidden truths that guide those willing to listen. By understanding these signs, you will gain the ability to recognize the moments when life aligns in your favor, when preparation meets opportunity, and when transformation quietly begins. There are nights when the heart speaks louder than the mind, when emotions rise and fall with a clarity that cannot be ignored. I am Shi Hengyi, and I have seen this moment in those who are ready to step into change. Joy may appear suddenly, shining brighter than usual, filling even ordinary tasks with a sense of wonder. Sadness may arrive just as sharply, not to weigh you down, but to reveal the attachments and stories you have carried for too long. Gratitude may surface unexpectedly, touching corners of your life you had forgotten to honor. Shaolin philosophy teaches that emotions are not enemies to be suppressed, nor fires to be fed recklessly. They are signals, mirrors reflecting the state of your inner world. Through patient observation, without reacting impulsively, you begin to witness emotions with precision, understanding their origin and their purpose. In these moments, the mind becomes a calm lake, capable of seeing every ripple clearly, without disturbance, without judgment. This clarity is rare. It is a gift of preparation, a signal that the self is ready to release what no longer serves it. Old patterns, fears, attachments, and doubts are illuminated by these sharp emotions, giving you the chance to let them go before they weigh you down any longer. The intensity of feelings tonight is not chaos, it is an invitation. It whispers that transformation is near, that the heart and mind are aligning, that the soul is being called to a higher level of understanding. When joy, sadness, and gratitude rise with such precision, they are not random. They are markers on your path, guiding you to step lightly, to breathe fully, and to release with awareness. Every emotion is a teacher, every feeling a doorway, if only you remain still enough to see, patient enough to learn, and wise enough to let go. Sometimes life speaks in whispers, in patterns so subtle that only a quiet mind can hear them. A street you rarely walk down may suddenly feel familiar. A conversation may strike at the perfect moment, or a number appears again and again, drawing your attention as if it carries a message meant only for you. These moments are not mere chance. They are the language of alignment, a reflection of an inner order that mirrors the outer world. Shaolin teachings remind us that mastery begins not with controlling events, but with mastering attention, training the mind to recognize the signals that guide us without forcing them. When energy is balanced, disciplined, and attuned, the world begins to unfold in patterns that feel guided. Doors open where none seem to exist, and opportunities appear as if they were always waiting for the readiness of your conscious choice. This is the essence of inner mastery, the ability to act in harmony with forces beyond immediate perception, to step forward with awareness rather than reaction, to perceive openings that others pass by in haste. Each synchrony, each meaningful coincidence is a reminder that preparation precedes opportunity, that the small rituals of focus, patience, and discipline accumulate into a life capable of recognizing the right moment when it arrives. To notice these signs is to understand that the universe is not separate from the self, that clarity of mind, steadiness of heart, and discipline of action are the bridges between ordinary days and extraordinary shifts. In this quiet guidance, there is no rush, no panic, only the steady unfolding of a path that has been waiting for readiness, a gentle alignment that calls for conscious awareness, measured action, and trust in the rhythm of life itself. There are moments when life seems to press against the edges of calm, when tension rises without warning, unease settles deep within, or confrontation appears at the most unexpected time. These experiences are often met with resistance, yet Shaolin training teaches that it is precisely in these moments that the mind and spirit are tested. Discomfort is not a threat to be avoided, but a teacher guiding the soul toward resilience. Each challenge, each moment of inner friction is an invitation to observe without fear, to meet difficulty with presence rather than reaction. When old habits, fears, or limitations surface through external pressure, they reveal themselves as shadows that have lingered unnoticed, waiting for the light of awareness to dissolve them. The disciplined mind learns not to flee from tension, but to allow it to pass through, like water flowing over stones, shaping clarity and strength over time. In embracing the discomfort, a subtle alchemy occurs. Resistance softens, focus sharpens, and energy that was once scattered is collected and directed with purpose. Shaolin philosophy teaches that mastery is measured not in the absence of struggle, but in the ability to remain anchored, observing the storm within without being swept away. These trials, though brief, leave lasting impressions, reminding that true growth is cultivated at the edge of comfort. When unease or confrontation arises tonight, it is a sign that the structures that no longer serve you are being tested, stretched, and released. The mind that remains calm, the spirit that remains steady, and the heart that remains open are the forces that allow transformation to occur. In this way, tension is not a punishment, but a sacred opportunity, a doorway to higher understanding, and a quiet reminder that discipline and inner mastery are forged in the heat of challenge, not in the absence of it. There are nights when the world seems to fade, and a gentle pull guides attention inward towards stillness and quiet reflection. A sudden urge to sit in silence, to trace thoughts across a journal, or to follow the rhythm of one's own breath may arise without explanation. These moments are subtle invitations, whispers from the inner self that signal readiness for change. In the discipline of mindfulness, the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. A single breath becomes a teacher, a fleeting thought, a mirror of deeper truths, and the simple act of observing without judgment, a gateway to clarity. Ancient practices remind us that mastery is cultivated in these quiet spaces, where the mind is not scattered by distraction and the heart is not burdened by expectation. Each mindful pause is a step toward alignment. Each deliberate exhale a release of what no longer serves, and each attentive moment a preparation for a shift that moves quietly but profoundly. The urge to reflect, to record, to simply be is not idle. It is the language of the self preparing to meet a higher state of consciousness. In these spaces, insight arises naturally, unforced, like sunlight spilling through the cracks of a darkened room, illuminating patterns and connections previously unnoticed. The practiced mind begins to recognize that transformation is not a distant event, but a subtle process unfolding in layers, guided by awareness and intention. When drawn to these quiet practices tonight, it is a sign that the foundation for change has been laid. The mind is alert, the heart is steady, and the spirit is ready. What may seem like stillness is, in truth, a profound form of action, an ancient discipline that allows the self to receive what it has been quietly preparing to embrace, bridging the ordinary life to a threshold of extraordinary growth. There are moments when the body seems to hum with a quiet intensity, subtle vibrations coursing through the limbs, a restlessness that cannot be ignored, or sudden bursts of focus that sharpen perception. These sensations are not random. They are reflections of the mind and spirit, signals of alignment between inner and outer energy. Shaolin principles teach that the body is a mirror of consciousness, that the flow of energy within reveals the state of the mind and the readiness of the spirit. When this energy rises, it is a precursor to action, a silent announcement that transformation is approaching and that preparation has already begun. The restless impulses, the tingling awareness, the sharpened concentration, all point toward a moment where observation must meet discipline, where intention meets movement. Ancient masters understood that to ignore these signs was to remain stagnant. To embrace them was to step into the current of growth with awareness and purpose. In these surges, the self is being called to respond, not in haste, but with measured, deliberate action that honors the alignment of thought, breath, and motion. Each pulse of energy is an opportunity to observe the body as a teacher, to feel the currents of focus as guidance rather than distraction, and to channel restless impulses into mindful action. The discipline of the mind tempers the rawness of energy, transforming restlessness into clarity and subtle vibrations into readiness for the next step. Tonight, when the body stirs in these ways, it signals more than physical sensation. It is the quiet language of preparation, a reminder that the inner and outer worlds are in harmony, that readiness has arrived, and that every thought, breath, and movement carries the potential to step into a new phase of conscious growth. There comes a moment when the fog that once clouded decisions begins to lift, when choices that seem tangled and uncertain suddenly reveal themselves with quiet clarity. What was once confusing feels simple, as if the mind itself has been reshaped to perceive the path that was always there. Shaolin philosophy teaches that such clarity is not a gift of luck, but the product of disciplined attention, of a mind trained to observe without attachment and to act without haste. The practice of daily focus, meditation, and mindful restraint strengthens the inner compass, aligning thought with intuition and intention with action. In this alignment, hesitation dissolves, and the decisions that once caused inner friction become natural extensions of awareness. Ancient masters understood that life offers guidance to those who are ready, that the universe does not impose direction, but reveals it to the prepared mind. When clarity arises in choice, it is a signal that internal recalibration is underway, that old patterns of doubt and indecision are being replaced with discernment born of discipline. Each decision, each moment of insight is a reflection of inner mastery, the ability to meet life's questions with steady attention, to weigh possibilities with a calm heart, and to move forward with certainty grounded in awareness. This realignment is subtle, often unnoticed until its effects become undeniable. Opportunities present themselves with ease, the next step feels natural, and the energy of hesitation is replaced with momentum. The clarity of choice tonight is more than mental sharpness. It is a mirror of the disciplined mind at work, a sign that the inner compass has found its true north, guiding toward a path that resonates with purpose, readiness, and the quiet confidence of a spirit prepared for transformation. There are moments when the mind and heart seem to release their grip on what once felt necessary, when habits, fears, or relationships that once shaped your life no longer hold the same weight. Letting go does not feel forced. It emerges naturally, like a leaf drifting from a tree when the season has come. Shaolin philosophy teaches that true mastery lies not in avoidance, but in restraint and conscious detachment, observing what binds the spirit and choosing to release it with clarity and purpose. Each habit abandoned, each fear faced and released, each connection recognized as no longer serving the path, opens space within for growth that was previously impossible. ancient wisdom reminds us that the world will always offer attachments, but the mind trained in discipline sees beyond them, understanding that freedom is found not in accumulation, but in the subtle art of letting go. In this process, there is no pain in surrender, only the quiet unfolding of clarity, the recognition that the energy once tied to what is no longer necessary can now flow toward higher possibilities. This release is not an act of loss, but of preparation, a deliberate clearing of the inner landscape to receive opportunities that align with purpose and intention. As attachments fall away, the mind becomes lighter, the heart steadier, and awareness sharper. What remains is a disciplined presence capable of noticing the openings that were previously hidden, of stepping into paths that demand courage and readiness. Tonight, the act of letting go is itself a form of mastery, a reflection of inner alignment, and a signal that the spirit is prepared to embrace what lies ahead with calm confidence, attentive focus, and the quiet strength born from conscious detachment. There are nights when even the smallest details of life seem charged with meaning. A flicker of light through the trees, the rhythm of rain against a roof, or the subtle warmth of a shared glance. In these moments, a profound connection emerges, as if the world itself has slowed to reveal its hidden patterns. Gratitude arises naturally, not as a forced practice, but as an awareness of the intricate harmony present in each breath and each heartbeat. Shaolin teachings remind us that the mind disciplined in presence can perceive beyond the ordinary, recognizing the threads that weave daily life into something greater. Gratitude sharpens perception, transforming fleeting sensations into lessons, coincidences into guidance, and ordinary experiences into portals of insight. When the heart opens in this way, alignment occurs, a quiet, steady attunement between inner readiness and the rhythm of life outside. The feeling is subtle but unmistakable, an intuitive knowing that the path ahead is unfolding in accordance with preparation and intention. Ancient masters spoke of such alignment as a sign of awakening, a reflection of the inner work already accomplished through patience, focus, and mindful discipline. It is not merely emotion, but a compass of the spirit, guiding toward choices and opportunities that resonate with deeper purpose. These moments of connection, however brief, carry the energy of transformation. They indicate that the heart is ready to move, to receive, and to act with clarity. Awareness expands naturally, allowing the mind to see patterns previously invisible, the body to respond with ease, and the spirit to rise quietly above old limitations. In this state, every sensation, every experience becomes a teacher, and the simple act of feeling gratitude becomes a doorway to a shift that is already quietly taking place, guiding toward the next stage of conscious mastery. Even when the world around feels chaotic, when noise, conflict, or uncertainty presses from every direction, there can arise a stillness within that remains untouched. This calm center is not born of avoidance, nor of turning away from the storms of life. It emerges from discipline, focus, and the careful cultivation of the mind. Shaolin mastery teaches that true strength is not in controlling external events, but in mastering the inner landscape, in training the mind to remain steady while the outer world shifts and sways. In this quiet space, thoughts lose their urgency, emotions settle like sediment, and the breath flows with clarity. There is a profound power in this silence, a subtle signal that preparation is complete and that the self is ready to meet what is coming with awareness rather than resistance. Ancient sages understood that transformation cannot be forced. It must be received. And the ability to receive it depends on the mind's capacity to remain grounded amid movement, to observe without reaction, and to hold presence even as life tests every boundary. In this calm, the senses sharpen, insights arrive with quiet precision, and choices that once seemed difficult become apparent. Every ripple of turmoil outside serves only to strengthen the steadiness within, teaching that resilience is cultivated not in ease but in attentive patience. This inner silence is both shield and guide, preparing the spirit to integrate shifts that arrive in their own timing. When it emerges naturally, it signals that readiness has been achieved, that discipline and mindfulness have aligned the mind, heart, and energy. In such moments, the self is no longer tossed by circumstance. Instead, it meets life fully, open to change, anchored in clarity, and poised to step into the next phase of conscious growth. Tonight, the subtle signs you may have felt, heightened awareness, emotional clarity, synchronicities, and a calm center within, are reminders that you are being quietly prepared for change. Shaolin teachings show that true mastery does not come from force or haste, but from observing life with calm attention, acting with disciplined presence, and moving with mindful intention. The shift you sense is not distant or imposed. It is a natural response to the readiness you have cultivated within yourself. By noticing these signs, reflecting on them deeply, and carrying discipline into your daily actions, you begin to step into a higher state of consciousness, where opportunities and insights align effortlessly with your path. Take these lessons into each day. Pause, observe, release what no longer serves, and act with clarity and purpose. In doing so, life responds in harmony with your inner mastery, and the doors of transformation open naturally. May this understanding bring a quiet peace tonight and every night, guiding you gently toward growth, presence, and alignment. Welcome this moment, embrace the shift, and if you found guidance here, subscribe to our channel, Hungyi Chronicles, to continue exploring the path of mindful mastery and ancient wisdom together.